friends, here we go. Does this look correct, Mundo? We're going to find out. DBL click, cross online. Hello. Hello, hello. This is a game I played against GM Igor Novikov once. One of the top players in the world. This was fairly recent. I have a huge backlog of games that I have been studying but have not input yet. So I have a lot of work in that regard. So I want to get it done. I looked at this game a little bit with some students of mine as well. Now I'm hoping I have, looks like I have this set up correct, Mundo. So, all right, here we go. Knight A6. Actually, I'll show just, there's like 3 people watching. But we're going to say something hilarious about this move. I had about 15 minutes to prepare this game and saw that Igor played this in 1988 and was certain he'd play it again, exclam. Okay, so knight F3, bishop G4, castles. All right, I should put in the time here. 1:31, and then he's gonna castle. He's at 1:16. Oh shit. 1:16. Then I have bishop D3. Okay, now we're going to talk about this a little bit. So, I had decided on this move prior to the game, thinking I understood the position. I knew, however, that B4 was a more aggressive option. I don't even know what kind of annotation to give B4. Well, okay, and at some point I'm going to turn on the computer here. So I think actually I'll just input everything and then, I'll input everything and then I'll ask the computer later. So here we go. Bishop D3, this is all forced. So knight F7, and I am at 129. Okay, so I only knew that the comp thought I was better after knight F7. Only now did I realize how complicated the position was. Okay, right. Okay. On the YouTube chat, they're asking for this song on Spotify. If I knew how to do it, I would do it. I thought this song was going to be a huge hit. And it never was. It never was the big hit it deserved to be. All right, Kraai. Now, bishop h5 was the move. Also, I want to look at this move here. What was the dealio? Oh, I might have to open my notes here. Oh, I don't want to open my notes. It's too complicated. Oh, no. Wait, Kraai. What? What were the notes, dude? You should remember it by yourself. You don't need no notes. You don't need no notes, son. Oh, man, this is a disaster. Okay, so. So I knew I had knight d8 here, but what I'm confused about when I was just looking at it. Oh, I got it. Knight d8 exclam. That's right, knight d8 exclam. Took me a second because I was struggling on knight f5, but the point is knight f7, knight g5, and we're going to call that plus minus. So knight e7, knight d8, and now bishop e2. I have knight e6, and I have everything. I have everything on that one. So, yeah. That knight g5 then is the main variation to figure out. Good. All right, so that's why this move. So, and then I played bishop c2. All right, bishop c2. 26, an incredible amount of time here. Here I felt some uncertainty over knight b4, but didn't have an alternate square for the b anyway. So played quickly. The first move Black thought some on. Exclam. Yes, I analyzed this position deeply many years ago. All right, so if you're just watching this, I know hardly anyone's watching, but I'll tell the story. The guy has played the same he plays the same thing over and over and over again. Comes from a pre-computer era where, for me, within 15 minutes, I had a very dangerous variation cooked up. Anyways, he's always playing the same thing. It does have its advantages. He knows deeply what's going on. All right, so the next question we want to analyze, though, is knight b4. This was the move I was a little concerned with. Okay. So, bishop b1. We're going to say, obviously, this makes me nervous. Can we spell nervous? I hope so. If we say bishop e2, rook e1, rook d8. And now b3. I'm going to call that a clear advantage for white. If rook d2, I have a3, and then rook a2. All right, so. All right. If rook d8, instead, I can play a3, b6, and now b3 again, intending rook a2. We're also going to call that clear advantage to white. And if we also have as an option f3, that looks even better, honestly. 2. And again, I don't know, it's probably winning, but let's call it clear advantage for white. I now have over 700 viewers. Well, welcome to the dojo. I know no one's actually watching. What this means, across online, is that on chess.com, they are carrying our stream. So that's what we're looking at here. So, but I will tell them if they're joining us, the dojo has 3 pillars of chess improvement. The most important one is to play some longer games and analyze them deeply. So I did a big notebook analysis of this game and many others, and now I have to put it in. I have to enter it. And after I enter it, I'm going to go back and look at it with the computer. So I have a feeling the computer will probably say, instead of clear advantage for white, it would say that I'm winning here. But anyways, I'm just giving you my human judgment. Okay, so f3. I'm actually going to say white is winning. I felt very comfortable now. My sense is that I'm right over the razor's edge for white being 1. Okay, so now I should put in my time here, 1:24. He now tanks pretty good. And actually on rook d8, I got to put in his time because he thought for a reasonable amount here. 1:01. Oh, shoot. It's not immediately going to my minutes, which is annoying. All right, 1:01. All right. f3. Now he tanks again and plays bishop f7. He's got 46 minutes left. b3, I played quickly. And now knight b4. Fairly quickly. This forces my bishop to e4, and therefore I can't immediately access the e file. I thought briefly about bishop h7, but that's insane. Rook t2, 40 minutes. And the idea is to keep me off the d file. Maybe I think a5. Let's just put that out there as an option. It's potentially stronger. But the key problem with a5 is now I can do this move. Boom, 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 boom. That looks winning to me. Yeah, it looks winning. So that's why rook d2. Rook e1. And this was my first big think. So now I've got 1 hour 1. And we'll write my first big think. White has many plausible plans. In all of them, we can see that black intends to generate play with a5, a4. Okay. So there's so many possible ways to do this. So imagine g4, a5, h4, h5, a4, excuse me, h5, a3. And we'll call this the manly plan. Allow him pawn a3. And I think we want to say should be winning. All right, here we go. Rook e1. Arguably too long. My coach does not like it when I spend that long. He plays a5 immediately. a3. Knight d3. He's got 32 minutes there. Bishop takes, rook e7. Rook d7. Was happy to see this move. Was concerned he might get away with this. Right, okay. I'm going to look at what I had here. So definitely g4, b3, g5, bishop, pawn, pawn, f4, takes, f5, a4, f6, rook a1, king g2, a3, f7, plus minus. Okay. Just barely. Just barely. I will say, just barely. Just barely winning. Okay, so now we go back. And my student actually came up with an interesting idea here. Joel came up with this. F6, B5, F7, bishop takes, rook takes, b4. And while we might believe in white, it's very difficult to calculate. This is a pain. I mean, maybe you should just believe in black at this point. Right? So to go back. So this was the move I was worried about. Maybe it's an exclam. We'll see what the computer says. G4 seems right. That seems right. Would it be insane to play rook G7? I think so. He just plays knight F5. There's another option actually here. I didn't even consider it. What about rook V2? Simple chess. That looks winning, honestly, doesn't it? Makes life easier. Now, it's still a little complicated, but once I win b7, it's hard to believe in black here. Nasty blood fart. You just wanted me to say that, dude. That's all you wanted out of me. You wanted me to say nasty blood fart. You got me, man. You got me. All right. So, I just want to maybe give a shout out because we got people watching on chess.com. The dojo believes in game annotations. I myself am following the Chess Dojo training program, and I have to analyze my games and then enter them. I did like a good 10, 11 pages of analysis, looked at this game with some students, and only after I input it now am I going to look at the computer. I will look at the very end. So, right, this was comforting to me because now I felt, let's just say here, I felt in control. All right, King E7, Bishop E6, exclam. And the point is, here I have rook E3. Basically, if I can stop the counterplay on the queen side, it's over. And Bishop E6 does two things. It stops that check, so now A4 is a threat, and Knight F7 is something he wants to do. All right, now I played King F2, and it is a little controversial. Let's see what our time spent here is. First of all, here I've got 53 minutes left. And Bishop E6, dude's got 28. King F2, I've got 49. So I spent 4 minutes on this move. And we're going to say a natural move, but it's unclear which direction my king wants to go. And do we want to reserve H2 for our rook? I wrote 8 hours 49 here. No, I do not have 8 hours 49. I simply have 49. There we go. All right. So king f2. And the other natural move is h4. Yeah. And sample variation might be knight f7, h5, a4. And now black has an extra option of knight e5. All right, here we go. Knight f7. Rook. Knight f7. He spent just 1 minute. He's moving faster now. All right, rook e2. Okay. I want him to tell me which way. If he goes to the king side, he won't be able to support c5. All right, so let's just be clear on what's going on. He is going to trade this pawn for this pawn by playing a4. And then needs to get the king here to play c5. So here we go, king d7. Played it quickly. And now I played king g3 kind of quickly. And let's say the obvious other move here I could do would be h4. All right, here we go. Boom. a4. He's moving this. He's got his plan, and now he's going to do this part quickly. 27. ba. I think for maybe too long, but I'm down to, excuse me, I'm down to 40 minutes. The man takes instantly. Makes sense. I play rook c2 as intended. 40. So the good news is, and this was part of me playing rook e2, is that he can't go d3. He can't go to either of these squares. And must now play bishop d5. He did spend a little time here trying to figure out some tricks. I played f4. I did that fairly quickly. And he played king d6. Fairly quickly. Thank you, Mithra. I think I fixed it. I think I fixed the 8-hour thing. Yeah. So, on bishop b3, I would play rook b2 and then take this bad boy. So f4, king d6, 21, did that. Now I just have to push the pawns. And now it's time to push the pawns, as scary as this whole thing is. c5, 21. h5. I gotta push him. Bishop e4, 20. C1. King D5. Trying to push the pawn. Makes sense. Rook D1. 31. King E6. 19. He's going quickly. And now F5. My students called me a chump for this move. Dogmatically, the F4 pawn doesn't want to cede squares, but I'm getting something for this concession. I get the rook going to D7. Dom, if you do not have the clock times, that's okay. You can still put it in. And then, you'll get better at it next time around. All right, so F5, King E5, Rook G7, D7. And he plays now Bishop D5. He's got 19. And I think I play a good move here, King F2, exclam. Oh, God, it's telling me, no, I didn't do 4 hours. 27. All right, so I'll just briefly look at knight D6. No, I'm going in. I'm in. I'm going home. Run, Forrest, run. Yeah, come on. So, King E4 is the fighting move. King E2. King D4. He's got 15 minutes left. Something's happening wrong to my life. Uh-oh. It's not letting me edit the times. Wait, what? Let's refresh. Uh-oh. Jack. Where are you when I need you, bud? How come I'm not able to? Oh no. Here I am advertising the Dojo website. No, the Dojo website isn't advertising me. Okay. Timeout. King F2. Okay, this all happened. Okay, wait. I'm back at it. I'm fine. So F4 here. Boom, 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 boom. Check. F5. We're going to give this an exclam. King E5. D7. Bishop D5. King F2. And now King D2 is the first move. It doesn't throw it away, but it shows that I didn't understand a fundamental tactic. In fact, let's write that. In fact, put it this one. Doesn't throw anything away, but shows I'm missing the winning idea. All right, so already here I had G5, Knight G5, Rook G7. Wait. No, hold on. saying this for the wrong momentito. So, king d2, we're going to delete that. Boom. We're going to say none. King d4, rook c7. This is the move. I have 18 minutes left here. Okay, so what's the winning idea? I should have played g5. This was the position I struggled with. Missed this idea. Igor showed it to me after the game. Right, Dom. In general, write down the times. If it's an automatic recapture, I don't write it. But in general, other than that, I'm going to write it. So, there's phases in this score sheet where there are some moves that don't have times. They're usually moves that were made immediately, some part of some sequence. But otherwise, I'm just writing it. I think at first people think it's really hard to do, but it's very easy. And also when you're doing it, it helps you just for a second do a check-in on what the time situation is. All right, so now I blew it. This move, like a chump. And I was down to 13 minutes here. In my defense, I thought I was winning. All right, so G5, exclam. Oh, same idea. I was looking at moves like this and wasn't convinced. All right. Yeah, so unfortunately now we do a little dance and it's a draw. Oh, very fun and interesting game. Fun, I guess. Now, I am going to change view now. Let's see if this works out. Change the view. And I bet I have to fix the window capture. No, wrong window capture. All right, so I'm going to look at the database and also the computer at certain points. So we have this amazing position. We turn on the Dojo database. We'll just do the masters. So knight f3, main move. Bishop g4 is the main move. Castles, castles. And as you can see, there are a couple people playing v4. They're also the ones the winning. I mean, b4 is the manly move. It's the manly move. Interestingly, bishop d3 only scores 50%, even though the computer, is my recollection, likes both of these moves, b4 and bishop d3. Okay, so let's turn on the computer. If I could, if I could do it again, I would spend some time looking at b4 and try to make that work. As you can see, it's just saying bishop. It likes bishop d3 more, but b4 is clearly the more dangerous move. All right, so let's get into it. Bishop d3. Queen f4. Bishop e5. Bunch of games followed this already. Queen takes, knight takes, bishop takes, bishop f5, king c7, knight f7. Holy gajolies. All right, here we go. It likes bishop e2, huh? Now, as you can, well, bishop h5, knight h6, everything's been played here. Huh. So it doesn't like bishop h5. I did not consider bishop e2. So, all right, let's go just this position here. To me, this looks... And we'll say, Okay. Best play for comp. I looked at this position and only saw fun for white. All right, bishop h5. Knight h8. Ooh, knight d8 at once. Actually, it's very similar. So, okay. Knight h8. Knight h6. Bishop h7. Rook. Bishop c2. And right, it likes knight b4 a little bit better. I also considered bishop d1. Well, that's kind of a weird move, huh? It's also looking at knight b4, bishop e4. Let's just look at this for a second. All right, I did consider this. C5, not human. Okay. Yeah, that's just not human. Okay. All right. So, rook d8. It doesn't even think my f3 move's the very best, but f3 is the right. I don't even know what it's talking about, rook fe1. f3. And let's just say SF says 1.18. Well, let's change it up then. 1.22. All right, bishop f7, it likes the best. b3, knight b4, bishop e4, rook d2. Look at that, it just wants me to ignore it, dude. Just g4 like a madman. Look at that, g4 like a madman. g4, it doesn't care. I was like, that rook's gotta go. That rook's gotta go. Oh, it's pretty spicy, man. This doesn't make any sense. All right. G4, A5. Rook A, D1. Now, I'm not worried about rook takes D1. I'm worried about that. G5. Knight G8. Bishop F5. Comps. Dirty trick. Yeah, I was like, I'm sure he was also thinking rook f2. We'll just write. Did not consider letting it live there. Exclam. All right, rook d8. All right, I got 1,000 different moves. And so, right, I spent 22 minutes here, and they're all pretty good. They're all pretty good. I considered g4, rook e2. I also considered a3. All right, so what we want to say about rook e1 is suspicion confirmed. I have many great moves, and 22 minutes was ill spent. Okay. All right, a5 is definitely the human move. Now I played a3. Computer does not like a3. Oh, look at this. Look at this. And now look, king d6. It seems completely wrong because I get b7. This is good chess here. Wow. Wow, that's intense, man. All right. Black achieves counterplay. Huh. Wow, king d6. Now, one of the things that's interesting, actually, I'll write about this. I was at least right about being a little nervous here. All right, so what this means is rook e1 with the idea that I played it in, like bishop b1 I wasn't thinking about. Let's put in bishop b1. It's intense, okay. Wow. Whew. Okay, so I guess we have to technically call this a mistake. Snip, snop, rook b2. All right, rook d2, there we go. King e7, g4, bishop e6. I thought that bishop e6 was the best move for sure. Now the computer wants a4. Well, now it's changing its mind. Look, king f2, if it's going to say, basically to say that I'm going to keep it there. King f2, knight f7, likes rook e2, king d7. Okay, wait. c5. I wasn't thinking about c5. What? C5 is some dark stuff, dude. That's some dark things right there, but just give him the pawn. All right. A4. Snip, snop. It doesn't like my rook C2. Now it's saying this. F4. King D6. Saying we're pretty close, actually. H4. C5. H5. Now, I should have at least looked at this C4 after. Maybe I just didn't appreciate King C5. Okay, amazing. Okay, yeah. Wow. All right, so this is technically a mistake. Now, one thing I feel a little bit funny about is if in my notes I don't feel it's a mistake, I don't feel it's fair to me to put a question mark next to it just because of the engine, right? I'm mostly interested in what I'm saying. King D5, check. It likes my F5 move. I should send that a snip to the boys, huh? I should send a snip. Oh, let's do a snip for the boys, huh? They didn't believe me. They called me a chump. They called me a chump, man. They were like, no way, F5. That's a chump move. Let's give him a little snip, dude. We'll send that later. We'll save it as F5. All right. You know, you got to gloat sometimes. Everybody's got to gloat sometimes. All right, so rook D7. King F2, exclam. Nice move, Kraai. King E4. King E2, King E1, the same thing. Push. King D2, King D4. Now G5, I just didn't play it, dude. And rook C7 still winning. So painful. And now it's equal. Look at that, dude. Oh, man, that hurt. Let's take a look at my time graph here. There's our time graph. It doesn't like me. It doesn't like... Actually, maybe I need to do... Well, when was the last time I got time stamp? 48. I'm down to 12 minutes. I'll move 48. Let's put that in here. Just to... I don't like being called weak on the clock. Knight D3. He's got 4 minutes left. Yeah, that's basically it. Does that change my clock, my time rating? No, it still doesn't like you, bud. A little fast. Ironically, I feel like the one move, you can see where I have that steep drop. If I had had that time back, you know, things would have been a little bit better. Oof, what a game. All right. I'm going to take a quick break and Rainbow. Kostya hasn't streamed in a long time, dude, and he's just so depressed, getting cranked. Getting cranked the way he is. I don't know what's going on with Kostya. All right. So, let's... Yeah, we're going to take a quick break. And, all right, so I'm going to do another game after this. And then I'm going to call it a day after that. So, I'm going to hit ye old starting soon screen. I'll be right back. Friends, we're back. I just have to make a Jadoub here. With this one, I needed to put in a couple things here. Actually, this is all fine. This is all fine. Okay, good. So Dojo thankfully saves this all for me. We're going to go here. We're going to flip it around. And now, wait a second. This is going to be, this dude's name is Rishkov. And he's about 2250, let's say, around there. See, I don't know what he is. And then it's me. My chump rating is like 2385 at the moment. I'm a chump GM. And this one I win. God, when was this? This was like the end of January. Actually, we're going to call it February 1st then, because it was that final day. I'm going to say Baltimore Open. All right, good. Some weird stuff goes down. And B3. And let's, X, take it back. We just want to make sure we get the time control right. We're going to say 130, 130. Oh, look at that, actually. Look, Dojo improves all the time. And what happens here is now, instead of me putting it in, it'll default to the last time control. Great. So, and we're going to say B3. And he was a touch late. Him being late encouraged me to think he had prepped my E5 system. So I played what someone played against me at the U.S. Championships 2004. Okay. Do you have advice for players that somewhat lack confidence and thus underestimate their position? I really think that going over your games is the answer for that. I also, actually, it's coming out soon, but I did a thing about weightlifting in chess. I think that I put my reasons forward how that could help. But the main thing is going over your games, because going over your games is always going to clue you in to things that are going on in your games. Okay, so here we go, and I will say I was also preparing some madness. And I'm going to say I had also done some prep, had seen that he played this against Novikov in an earlier round, and it was also in VDB. It's just a weird move. Okay, so B3. All right, knight, not rook F6, knight F6. 129. E4. D6. Knight C3. Thinks a little bit. 112. I'll tell you what, I'll go game review. We'll show the time thing later. F3. No. Idiot. Idiot. Knight F6. Bishop B2. I need you to overwrite. I need you to delete this. All right. Sorry. Bishop B2. G6. Again, 129. E4. And I would say, I remember looking at this for white years ago. All right, so D6, 129, knight C3, 112, bishop G7, and now a weird move here, F3. 1-8. And that's got to be a mistake. Yeah, I'm going to say D4, and I'm going to call that an unclear position. All right. So now, I play C5. And I've got 125. Not a terrible move, but I probably would not make it again. Gives purpose to bishop f1. Okay. So I'm going to just say castles, and we're going to call that like slightly better for black. All right. Bishop b5. Very quickly, basically instantly. And now I played knight c6. Bishop d7 is also fine. And now he plays knight e2 at 104. Good, Rainbow Teddy. Good. No, I think you're doing fine. Now I make a bad move here. Ugh. To that we say ugh. Ugh. Playing with pawns instead of pieces. Overly dogmatic about the d4 square. If he can't play d4, he's all jammed up. Okay, and you did it quickly too. Boy. So we'll say castles, d4 takes, knight takes, bishop d7 with a great Sicilian position. All right. Knight d5. We're going to say two. I probably discounted this move because it moves a developed piece twice, but obviously frees bishop b2 and ne2. Tapioca King says, it looks like you're reading something. Do you write stuff down on paper? So what I'm reading from is the score sheet. And the score sheet has the times on it. I'm entering the times dutifully. But more importantly, I have a notebook. And I've done all the analysis by hand on the notebook. And the main thing I'm trying to do is write down what we'll call the most salient variations here. Okay. And for me, honestly, just personally, I love studying chess. I don't really enjoy being in front of the computer, but it is a necessity. So I'm doing it. And not only to input the games, but then to check the database and to check the computer in a couple key positions. So, knight d5, we'll give him an exclamation for this. Okay. And I castle quickly. Maybe a mistake. I think what we want to write is, we'll say played quickly, thinking it was a must and I had to be better. All right, so if I do have another option here, and that is knight takes, pawn takes, a6. With a messy position, the kind of thing one wouldn't consider unless we thought castles might be poor for some reason. Okay. Got a question from Chess Owl. I play a lot of OTB weekend tournaments and I often don't have time to analyze all games before my next event. Do you have a tip for that? I really think one of the key things that I did for my chess improvement was I basically didn't allow myself to play the next event until I had gone over my games. I know that must sound outrageous, but that's what I did. And I think, in general, a wise thing to do. Because otherwise, if you don't go over your games, forget about it. Forget about it. Yeah. Now, I think this is better for me. I did some analysis, but I think this is a slightly better position for me. Yeah. Okay. So, castles. And now he plays the very simplistic hilariously, I missed a move here. So bishop takes c6, another exclam move. Underestimated this move. It shook me so much that I failed to write it and my move on the score sheet. That's always a bad sign. Pawn takes, knight takes, and now another mistake. Queen takes. Bishop takes was better, exclam, with the point that castles c4, exclam. Again, so we'll say, again, if I had sensed the danger, I would have looked deeper for something like this. And I think what we'll do is we'll call this an advantage for black. Can't take because of queen b6. So if they play, let's say, d3, then I think bishop h4 is a good move. Also, because he's gonna get messed with a little bit. I'll get that. If he plays g3, weakens his light squares. Okay, so mistake. Oh, this game's frustrating me. I won this game. It was not the prettiest. Very frustrating here. All right, so castles, queen e7. During the game, I felt I had to be better here. Incorrect. All right, so he plays d3, 59. f5. All right, which I played fairly quickly. I wasn't even sure which way I'd recapture. Simply felt that I had to open the position. PLNR3. Good to see you, bud. PLNR3 is a very active member of the dojo. All right, now I want you to go look at your notes briefly here. All right, here we go. EF. And he's got 51 minutes. And I played bishop f5 pretty quickly. decided on this move while he was thinking, and the estimation of my position went down considerably. Thought it might now be equal. Okay. If GF F4, right. Maybe he's even clearly better. Black's pawns are bad. If I had a knight on the board, I might be able to do something dynamic. But I soon realized this position was terrible and that my king, in addition to the pawns, would be weak. Are we going to do commentary for the candidates? Oh, that's a good question. I think so. We're going to do a podcast later today. And I'll check in with them on that. I think we will. We'll definitely, that kind of thing's a team effort. But I'm pumped for it. I think it's going to be an amazing thing. All right. All right, 51. With every move, I began to enjoy White's position more and more. Bishop D7. You know what? I'm going to just do this. Bishop D7. Are we claiming that the B is better than the knight? Question mark. I think this is maybe a funny move, actually. So we're going to say rook AE8 looks more natural. Bishop H6, maybe also not dumb. Now he gets to play simple chess. Simple chess. He is maybe threatening F4 at some point. Yeah, my life is already not so hot, baby. Not so hot. All right, we're going to say 1, 2, and a big thing where I have to recenter myself on defending a bad position. ugly. All right, rook A E1. The guy's got 49. Queen F8. I got 52. And now Bishop C1. Simple chess. The man is playing the simple chess against me. Bishop. Wait, I'm blowing it. I'm blowing it. Rook F7. I got 102. Queen F8. I have two Queen F8s. Yeah, this one I'm actually at 102. Sorry. 1, 2. Right, Bishop C1. Bishop H6. I'm going to call it sad but necessary. Bishop takes. He's got 46 left. I'm obviously going to take. Knight E4. Right. He's got 43. Queen F8. And we're going to say G5 was my original hope. Queen D2, Rook G7, H4, exclam, Queen H4, Knight takes, and we're going to call that plus minus. Okay, so Queen F8. Queen F2. All right, and this is 39. I played A5. All right. Here I saw the idea of C3, D4, and try to make it at least hard to play. All right, so now dude played A4. Quickly. C3, A4, D4, and we're going to call that just a clear advantage for white. Yeah, clear advantage. All right, so A4. And now I play Bishop F5. And we're going to say 34. We're going to say finally recognizing that his knight is better than my bishop. All right, so Bishop F5. Maybe I'll even give myself an exclam for that. All right. So Queen D2. Just think about it. Queen D2. I played H6. He's first of all 34. No engine, that's right, JW. H6. All right. 37. Now he plays queen c3. 29. We're going to give this a funky move, Mark. I did not anticipate the idea behind this move. So I think c3, g5. All right, I got 35 here. Question, what do you think about doing mate in twos from other sources such as Chess Tempo? I don't really love the interface at Chess Tempo, and in general, I really think you should do the problems offline if you can. It's easier to concentrate offline. People don't understand that, though. All right, so 35, we're going to say putting the pawns on the right color. All right, now he goes for it. A little bit of a shocker, knight c5. And he does it immediately, so he clearly intended this. All right, so here's it. You know, if you're going to play queen c3, I don't know what else you're going to do here. All right, so here we go, rook e5. I now take a moment and I play rook e8. I got 30 left. He plays rook fe1. That makes sense to me. I think I played a good move here. First of all, it's 28. I play bishop d7. This makes it a little hard for him to maneuver so easily. All right, so now we get our critical position. Queen a5. Seems the most testing. Rook takes g4. Now, queen c5, queen g7. I have to create counterplay against the king. Okay. He plays a strange move. F4. That can't be right. 13. Pawn takes. Queen takes. Oh, rather, hold on. Oh, I understand. Queen takes. This was my intention during the game. It was a weird thing though here. missed this. He showed me after the game. We'll say with initiative was my intention. In fact, we got this cool little thing here. Move not found during game. Actually, I also put a little queen e5 here. Move not found during game. All right, so f4. I took that thing. Looks like I have 11 minutes left here. He played rook e1, has 8 minutes left. I played g3. All right, I have 5. Queen e5. Now, I thought was what I was fearing. Right. And now, rook f3, I'm going to call that equal. But I could also play queen h4. And let's say ha5. Rook f6. Is there a reason we're going rook f6 instead of rook f5? Can we just slow it down here for a second? Nah, not me. Nah, shit. So wait. All right, so we're gonna. Anyways, this looks. Well, we're gonna just say with a mess. With initiative. All right, let's delete that. So g3, hg, no, he plays queen e5. That looks wrong. All right, we're going to make main line. I play gh. 5 minutes left. King h2. Queen g4. Let's just call this like clear advantage for black. And now he blunders. Rook e3. I don't know how much time he's got left. Rook e1, yeah. Let's say he's got about 3 minutes left here. And this is arguably a double question mark here. I say arguably, it's definitely a mistake. I don't know when you get, he just resigned here. Okay. Whew. All right, I'm gonna be right back. So we're gonna change it into this view here. And we're gonna do a little bit of final analysis with the engine at the very end of things. We'll look at the database here briefly. So you can see my move is 19%. E5, the big winner. I guess C5 scoring the highest, if that means anything to you. All right, so I'm assuming F3 is a mistake here. You can see there's one game with it here. We'll turn on the engine here for, I don't want to turn on the engine, just in a couple key places. So yeah, it already likes white. Yeah, D4 I said it was. Look at that though, it's saying F3 isn't that bad. Doesn't mind my C5 move. Again, I would castle. Check to the miserable king. I play knight C6. Look at that, it doesn't mind my weird move. Oh, well, I don't know. To me, it's just a nice Sicilian position if I don't do this. Okay, so now knight D5. And look at that. The comp approves my variation. Look at that. And we'll say, over here, we'll say, comp approves. Excellent. Amazing. Now, would I have said that high for black? I just knew it was a pleasant position for black. That's all I knew over there. All right, so castles. And I definitely want to play bishop f6. But there's some weird stuff here. It's saying c4. It's just saying maybe it's not so special. To me, it looks pretty good. Okay, I wouldn't want to be white here. Wouldn't want to be white here. All right, queen f6. Castles. I do my weird queen e7 dance. It says it's equal. d3. And there's my f5 move. Snip. It approves bishop f5. Now it also thinks I'm a little worse. Okay. Okay. Bishop d7. I shouldn't have done that. I don't like it. Oh, it approves kind of my queen f8 weird move. It doesn't like that one at all. I said sad but necessary. What do you want me to do here? H6? Maybe I should have played H6, dude. Oh. I did think about H6. Problem is I can't really play G5 next. Yeah, okay. So here we go. It's got some weird ideas here. All right. Queen f2, a5, a4. Oh, we want to investigate c3. So c3, a4, oh, even b4, sure. d4 makes a lot of sense to me too. Okay, that computer thinks it's not as bad. It doesn't like bishop f5. I thought I had to get rid of that thing. h6 it likes, okay. Now queen c3 is a weird move. g5, and now knight c5. All right, now comes the calculation part of today's broadcast. Rook e1, rook fe1. I thought bishop d7 was a strong move here. We are actually going to transpose, though, to its main line. Huh. That's weird. So, we're going to say transposing to the game in a cleaner way. I don't know what was so hard about that. All right, bishop d7. Oh, it thinks there's their problem there, huh? Okay. Here we go. I thought G4 was the nuts for sure. Okay. Boom. And now it wants me to play. Oh, actually, I should have put this in there anyway. So Queen C5, Rook C5, GF, GF, Rook F3, King G2. Thought this was roughly equal. Comp agrees. Okay. So, Queen G7. And now this F4 move is a bummer for him. Okay. So, boom, 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 boom. So, if HG3, Queen G3, Queen E3, that's the human question. Rook F3, it's saying I should just make it equal. Okay, fair. Queen E5. I did not consider taking that thing. Huh. That's a weird move to do that. All right, so I think this is humanly correct. Here. Now notice, it thinks it's equal. Probably objectively is, but still from a human point of view, I don't think you want this one, man. All right, he does this. Game over. Okay. Whew, man. All right. Good. So now, let's see what's going on here. I have to log my time here. And I've done about 250 in terms of hours. Is this right? No, no. Yeah, about 250. All right, so we're going to log this. We're going to go. Oh, I have to save this. Oh, I definitely need to save it. So this is Kraai. No, this is Rishkov. Wait a second. I thought I. Wait. Here. No, I did. I have it all here. I just need to save it. So save. And I go save and publish. Jacunda. And we need to look at the time graph too. There it is. Pretty good time graph. Amazing. Okay. And now, finally, we're going to get out of here. We're going to go to my little logging of the dojo time stuff. We're going to say annotate classical game, update progress. Today we did 2. Boom, boom. And we did 3 hours. Let's call it 2 hours, 50 minutes. Boom, boom. And we're going to say update. Oh, look at that. I got 75 annotated games. I've done more than that, but okay. I am going to maybe come back. I have a class at the top of the hour, and I might come back then. So, good times. All right. Okay. Anything else I need to do here? Actually, I'll give a plug. We have these new live classes. Pretty amazing. We have the Dojo Game and Profile Review, and we have lecture classes going on too. So come check that out. Also, of course, you can just come check out the Dojo normal training program. It's been a good thing. I got some videos out. That's kind of fun to check out too. I got vids out. I got vids. More coming soon. All right, everybody, we're going to raid somebody. You never know who I'm going to raid. You never know. Let's raid Kantana Chess. I don't know who this woman is. Raid Kantana Chess. Boom. Tell her hi. Maybe I'll be back this afternoon. I will be probably back tomorrow morning, and definitely on Wednesday at noon Eastern.